What is up, everybody? Welcome to the On the Block podcast. I'm here with the most recent evictee. I know everyone's really upset right now. I'm here with Via in the flesh. What's going on?
In the flesh. Hello, Andrew. Yes, it's
What's
me, guys. It's
Yeah,
Via.
it's Via. Via's here, guys. This is crazy. So Via, I gotta ask you, what's new? What's been going on the past few years? What's new in your life?
I don't know. A lot's changed. I'm no longer a teenager. Well, I mean, I
Right.
mean, I am, but now I'm 18, guys. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's giving adulthood. It's giving. She's about to go to college in a few weeks.
Damn. Well, that's great. I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you're like, like growing up in life and shit. That's crazy. So let's okay, so first of all, Via, I gotta ask you, so obviously as it wasn't obvious already, you were definitely a recruit for this show. You were not somebody that was aware of what, well, I don't know if you knew what Big Brother was, like this show, like the real show, but you definitely did not apply for this on your own. We found you in a really crazy in a crazy way, which we'll get into. But yeah, what are your kind of initial thoughts right now as the episodes are coming out on YouTube? Like how are you feeling about just seeing yourself on the show?
Um, Watching the episodes, it's a little cringe because, like, obviously, I've changed a lot since like being 16, but um the whole like opportunity to do something like this is like so first of all so random. But like at the same time, like I got all my friends to watch it with me and it's like so fun seeing like what happened in the show. I actually really enjoyed it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I'm glad to hear. So I guess yeah, we'll talk about like how we got you on the show. I think people deserve to know this story. It's a very funny story. Um, so I guess the summer of 2023,
Yeah.
we were in the middle of casting for the show, and one of our well, actually another applicant, Landon, which he didn't end up making it on the
Yes,
show.
Landon.
Yeah, but he was on Omegle. We were just hanging out one night, just just hanging out and just like talking to people on Omegle, and he was sharing his screen to us in a Discord server, and he was kind of just like messing around with people on Omegle, and then Landon found you on Omegle, and then at that point, then he started like trying to like recruit you for the show that he was trying to apply to as well. It was really funny. So then we added you on Discord, and I explained to you the show, and then we got you on. Like, how did that all make you feel in that moment? Was it like a lot all at once?
It was literally a once, like literally once in a lifetime, like literally crazy chance meeting, actually. Because well back when Omega was alive. RIP.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Um, I used to go on it like maybe like 3 times a month. Like that was literally like my favorite pastime just to troll on Omegle. And like my usual tags were like not the ones I used that day. So like it was so crazy to meet you guys on like literally a random tag that I never used.
Right.
And I didn't think I didn't think I would be able to get on a show. I mean, like I watched a few seasons of like Big Brother. I think I remember telling you like my favorite season was Big Brother 19 with Josh. Like
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
know a lot of people don't like Josh, but he's my favorite. My D1 rage baiter, Josh.
Right. I forgot you told me that. That's actually crazy. Okay, yeah. So you were
Yeah.
like aware that Big Brother was a thing. Okay, that makes more sense now because I thought you went into this like completely blind. Because like Mac on the other hand, like went in, she had no idea what Big Brother was, but hey, at least you knew who like Josh Martinez was. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Great. That's good to hear. Now what was your experience with with Minecraft? Like, did you have any Minecraft experience going into this?
The only Minecraft I would play was like maybe like on a server with my friends, just like build stuff, like just like regular SMP. I've never like done like mini games like that unless I was playing like Hypixel or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha, cool. Like, I guess another like I really am curious. Like, what made you like? What were you expecting going into this? Like, it's kind of like it kind of just all happened at chance, like you said. And like, what did you expect to happen going into this?
Um, the day of filming, I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I was like, I was gagged like every hour. Um, but um, yeah, it was so I've never done anything like it, so like it was so weird,
Yeah.
obviously being new to the whole thing. But the more we were doing, like as the hours went by, I got used to it, and I was getting tired. But at the same time,
Right.
I was
Well,
having
we
fun,
all
like,
were.
but I was still having fun. Yeah, I didn't expect like obviously I was like, I mean, not super young. It was only been like 2 years. I was like younger, right? And
Yeah.
everyone else was like, except like two other people, everyone else was like older than me. And so I was like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
I don't know what to do in this. So obviously in like the earlier episodes, I was like barely talking to anyone. Um, but I guess I like opened up like sort of like as the hours went by, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. You were 16 at the time. You had people in the house like Boyar who was like pushing 30. So that was kind of crazy to throw you into the mix like that. Um, but then, the episodes are coming out right now, as of recording this interview with you right now. Only 4 episodes of the show have come out so far. And with those 4 episodes, I mean, Via, I gotta say, I've never seen this much of a fan base and a stan culture around a house guys before. I mean, you are pulling people out of I don't even know where they're coming from, and they're like Via stands. Like, what's your reaction to that? I've never seen this before.
Um, no, literally, I'm so shocked. Like, I remember one day just getting like, because I know I'm not that active in the Discords, but
Right,
like I see my name sometimes pop up. I'm like, wait, are they talking about me?
right,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, they might be talking shit. Like, oh my God, only a few episodes came by. They're already talking shit about me. No, guys, they love me.
right, yeah.
I I have to give credit where credit's due. Rar Z girl, Uzi, the girl with the hashtag via updates, that's my number one fan right there. Shout out to them. Oh my, they made that edit. That's
They made the
going on.
edit. That was crazy. I
They made
listen,
that edit.
never seen a Big Brother Minecraft edit like that before. It was crazy. Like and yeah, so big shout out to them. That was nuts. Yeah, your number one fan for sure.
No, for real. And like via fan base already, via Nation Rise, like
Yeah,
I can't get
right?
enough of it. Literally.
What do you
I'm
if, you know
so
if what do you have to say to the people that are like kind of rooting for you and like
literally, guys, thank you so much. Like
yeah.
literally, I would have never expected this. I literally didn't know what I was doing in the game. So, but to see like all these people like going like, "Oh my God, it's Via. Oh my God, Via, you ate Via icon Via." Like it's so funny to see, but I love it. I'm eating it up every second of it. And thank
And
you everyone for all of your support.
absolutely. And I guess like to those that are gonna be upset after seeing you get evicted, like do you have anything that you want to say to like address those people? Like how are you feeling about that, Via? How are you feeling about getting evicted?
Well, obviously, okay, going into it, I didn't expect to win. Trust. I wasn't aiming that high, but I didn't expect to get jury at all. I literally thought I was gonna go when I was up against Vince. Literally, I thought I was done for. But I was kept in, and I think I was put up on the block 3 more times after, right?
I think something, yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it
I
was
was put
something like
up on the
that.
block so many times, and I guess for fourth time is the charm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I made it really far, like more farther than I thought I was going to, and that's literally crazy because I was just going with the flow. Like I was winging it the entire time. Hate to break it
absolutely.
to you. Yeah.
But yeah, I bet, hey, you killed it, and with even without the eviction resurgence twist happening, you still were head of household on the inside house for that week, so that was kind of crazy. And then you targeted Boyar. You got it. You can say that you got Boyar out of the house, and not many people can say that. So well, literally nobody can say that but you. So I mean that's an accomplishment. Um, what if like well I'm curious because like obviously you mentioned that your friends watched this like with you like what's their reaction been to like being able to see you like on the show like what have they been saying?
So when the first episode came out, I was like in the middle of doing a summer program at my college. So
Mhm.
like I was just with a bunch of people and like I made them we have like study sessions every night, like all 80 of us. I made like I made like a little group and we all went into a separate room and we watched it on like a big projection screen.
Oh wow, that's like
Yeah, to have a watch party and I was like, guys, that's me. That's me on the screen.
Oh,
Yeah. I'd say like my closest friends are like my biggest supporters. No, literally, like my best friend like comments under like every video, like, oh my God, Via stands rise.
nice, nice. Yeah. That's great. No, I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad you have like really supportive friends that like are supporting you through it. Um, but yeah, I will say like for somebody that's like kind of just like kind of got into the mix of it very last second and getting sixth place, that's a pretty big accomplishment in the game of Big Brother. Gotta say. It's pretty big. Um, I did kind of want to like talk about your gameplay a little bit because from obviously it was so long ago, so we can talk about just kind of like the surface level stuff for now, and if anything comes back to just we'll talk about that. Um, but you did win the split house head of household, and that was a pretty big moment in the game where it's like, okay, you picked the inside house, you made it to jury, that's pretty iconic. And so you're in the house, you're with Boyar, you're with Mac, you're Tara and Happy. Um, and you decided to like really go after Boyar. Like what was I guess like do you remember like why you wanted to go after Boyar?
Um, because like why in the week before I was telling Brayden, oh, put a Boyard put Boyard up next to
Right.
me. And then you didn't. Why are you lying to me? Um, so I was like, okay, I'll just do it myself type. So
That
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
my top two targets were Boyar and Happy. Love them though. Um, I don't know. Maybe no offense. Maybe it was something with the accents. Maybe it was getting to me.
It was too much.
The hours
Yeah.
just hearing the accents, maybe it was really getting to me. But yeah. Um, but I did what I did what I did.
Yeah, you did. I mean, hey, you got Boyar out and he's gone. And then after that, then the houses kind of come together, and then Mac wins head of household, and then the pressure cooker head of household, which you didn't even get to play in the pressure cooker, unfortunately.
It's all
Which was
right.
like, yeah, it was all right, but you were on the sidelines for that. So Mac's head of household, and then let's see, Landry goes home. So a lot was going on in the house. I feel like there was a lot of confrontation. There was a lot of people like yelling at each other, and then there's just you in the back. You're not really, getting involved too much. Um, what was going through your mind seeing all these people like just like being so like nasty towards each other and then you're just kind of there.
I'd rather like stay out of the conflict. But I was eating it up from the sidelines, trust. I was like my popcorn in hand, like watching all the drama unfold. Um,
Your honey buns.
yeah, my honey buns, literally.
Right.
Yeah, I think I was more comfortable just staying out of it all, even though maybe I would have gotten more screen time if I was in it. Uh,
Right, right.
but yeah, I guess because like back then I wasn't like really that much of like an outgoing person.
Hmm.
So I thought it was just better to stay out of it.
Gotcha, cool. Well, obviously, it was 2 years ago since we filmed the show. If you were to play again, which first of all, would you do something like this again if given the chance? I'm curious.
Um, if I really think about it, like why not? Like fuck it, we ball. I would do something like this again. And if I were to do it, I would trust me, everything would be different. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Tell it like what would you do differently? I'm curious to we're probably all curious to know what Via would do if given another chance.
what View would do, obviously, I would start pitching more. Cause why when I was watching the fourth episode, why was did I like not pitch at all? Like when I was on the block?
Okay, so I actually don't really know what happened there. I think that you were in a room. I think you were in a room with like Landry, I want to say. And like I think Landry was like, "Oh no, you're good. Like don't worry. Like you're fine. Like you're not going home." And then I think people were just telling you that you were safe, and I feel like just from the editing standpoint, I was like, this is kind of boring. I feel like Vince was kind
Right.
of like cracking under pressure and like Vince was like crying. I felt like it was more interesting to show that. So yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like yeah, it was pretty obvious. Like the conversations you were having, it was pretty obvious that you were staying. So I couldn't really show that. I had to leave some suspense in there.
No, yeah, but definitely because in the beginning episodes, like people were putting me out there as like someone that they could possibly put up because like, oh, they haven't talked to me at all, blah, 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 they have no connection with me, so like they wouldn't feel bad putting me up. Like, so obviously I would start talking more.
Yeah.
I think I would be better at it now than I was back then. Um, uh, I would definitely try harder. Because low-key, oh my God, I threw so many comps. Like,
You threw
they
so many comments.
did I not intentionally, maybe intentionally, I don't know.
Okay, so you just lost in the challenge. Okay, I got
No,
you. I
like
got
I
you.
feel like I've almost won so many of them.
Yeah.
Like the ones I watched, I was like, dang, I could have won that. I really,
Right. No, you
I
came
really could have
close. I
won
mean, you were
that.
killing it. You were like even the okay, so I feel like this definitely needs to be addressed here. So the OTEV competition, the one that was just in the most recent episode,
Oh
apparently,
yeah.
and I didn't know this, but apparently the 2024 rules of that competition, apparently they updated, and apparently
Hmm.
you would have won that had the season been filmed just a year later. So there you go. So yeah,
Dang.
that would have been
Guys, heard
even.
it here first. I would have won
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So it wasn't rigged. It wasn't like I was trying to rig the game against Via. Trust me, we wouldn't want to do that. Um, but yeah, it was just the rules were different in the year that we filmed the show for sure.
No, yeah. I was so shocked playing that game. Like I have seen OTEV like played in real life, but like what it was I was so stressed. I was so stressed during that game. I was like, dang. And then like during the second one when we came up and the people started like bringing up like the skulk shards, I was like, dang, wait, wait, did I misunderstand? But
Right,
then they had to like go get the cyan concrete block. I was like, oh, dang. I was
right.
right at this whole time.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, you were crushing it. The chat was going absolutely feral. They were like first, I don't know, they were upset with me obviously because you should have won the second round there, but then but no, the chat was going crazy. I guess like I mean, coming out of this experience now, like has it like changed anything for you? Like I mean, I don't know. It's really an interesting thing to get like thrown into all of a sudden and then like coming out of it like how did it make you feel overall? Like did it change anything in your life? Like I which I doubt, but like I don't know, did it?
I don't know. I guess now I just get to brag that, oh my God, I was on a game. I was on a game show. Guys, have you ever heard of Big Brother Minecraft? I was on
Yeah.
that. Season 9, guys, via. Um, but yeah, other than like bragging rights, I mean, I guess watching it back now, I've definitely changed a lot for like the better since like I was 16. So that's good. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've learned to like play Minecraft a little better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure, because that one parkour challenge, mm,
Right,
I
right.
remember that was literally so tragic.
No,
Kill me, that was so tragic.
your redemption arc is loading. I'm sure if we ever do another, like a second chance season, I'm sure you'll crush it. I
We'll
guarantee
see.
it. Um, I guess I guess like do you keep in touch with anybody from the season? Like are you close with anybody from the cast?
Um,
And it's okay if you're
like
not.
I've said,
Like
like I've said, I have not been active in the Discord like at all. Like
yeah.
your Discord or even like this like our specific Discord for the season.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do see like sometimes I do get like mentioned and like I'll try to respond to like the mentions and like Landry is so sweet. Like she's always like hashtag Landry. Like yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, like other than like seeing like chats with my name in it on Discord, like I haven't really. I've just been living my life type.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm glad that you're able to like, just live your best life, essentially. That's what it is. Um, which I think we pretty much like covered. I mean, your experience on the show. I think that we pretty much were able to. Me and you were able to catch up because again, like you and I haven't talked in
No,
forever, so
literally.
that's great. But also, do you have any like just final thoughts? I guess to the viewers and just from yourself. Like, do you have anything that you just want to like just talk about from the experience as a whole?
Um, one thing, one thing after seeing that one edit. I'm so sorry, Davison, because like I was just following the like the majority, like and the whole dolls thing, I didn't even know what that was. Okay.
Right.
I didn't even know what the hell that meant. I was just like, okay, the dolls, that sounds cute. Let me be in it type. But like I didn't know that was like a whole thing. So Davison, I'm so sorry, my king.
I'm
Um,
sure Davison will accept your apology. I'm sure he will. And
yeah. And then guys, if you ever get an opportunity like this, if you ever meet someone on Omegle, just go for it. Just
yeah,
go for it.
actually I don't know if you should though. That's great. Do
Be
not
careful, yeah.
be careful with strangers on the
Be
internet,
careful with
guys.
strangers, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, Via, you were great the entire time. I know, obviously, like you definitely took a huge risk doing this project, and I'm so grateful and so happy that you did do it because I think a lot of people, were just happy to see you on the show. So it was great.
Of course.
Yeah, and that's it. Any final thoughts? Any final words?
Um, Thank you for all my supporters. Thank you, Via Nation. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome, Via. Oh, it's great having you on the podcast. Everybody, check out the next week's episode. It'll be coming out on Friday. I can't wait for you guys to see it. All right, Via. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Bye.
Welcome to the On the Block podcast. I'm Andrew. I'm here with Maddie, the most recent evictee from Big Brother Minecraft, just evicted in the double eviction. Maddie, what is going on?
I'm doing amazing. I feel like this was so long ago, so it's like sort of fun like watching the episodes back and seeing exactly like what happened because over time like a couple of like memories sort of slip away. But I've been doing good. I'm still in college. I've changed jobs a couple of times. Right now I work at an escape room, which has been super exciting. But other than that, yeah, I'm just living my life, going through college and I'm hoping to be finished with that soon. But, I was a freshman when we filmed the season. Now I'm about to start my junior year. So, it's been a long time. So, I'm excited to, hopefully see what happens at the end. But yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I'm glad to hear that everything's going great. I just wanted to kind of like ask you some questions about like your just experience on Big Brother Minecraft. It's been so long, but hopefully we
Yeah,
can like remember things that happen.
for sure.
So yeah, like how was it for you just like going through the whole casting process in general? Like was it it was your first time applying, I assume, right? Because this was, I mean, you've
Yeah.
been watching for a very long time.
hmm Yeah. The casting process for me, literally 2 or 3 days before the like applications closed, like I submitted a video because I was like, oh, they're open. So I was like, why not? And you shot me a DM like instantly being like, because y'all needed like more girls. So,
Absolutely,
it worked
yeah.
out. It worked out perfectly. I as soon as I guess was officially on the cast, I was excited because I've been watching this show for a long time. A long-time Big Brother fan. I've been watching since I was 6 years old, which is crazy.
Wow.
Big Brother has always been a big part of my life. But, I think when, your shit aired for the first time, I think I was, I was like, I had to have been like 11 or something, which
Right.
is crazy because I'm, 20 now.
Right. It's
But
crazy.
yeah. Just thinking about it, like, wow, like that's fucking crazy. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I know that you told me, prior that you've had experience in like other like online orgs and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
How do you think that kind of like prepared you for like Big Brother Minecraft? Because it's a Minecraft game show. It's a little bit different than like I guess Instagram or Roblox. Like how did that feel for
Mhm.
you?
I think for me, I've been doing these games since like 2017. So I feel like
Mhm.
once you have like a good recipe down, once you like play so many times repetitively, you sort of pick up on things easier. And I feel like you're able to, talk to people a little bit easier. You have an easier time like meeting just new people that you've never met before. And I think that really did help me. I noticed some people struggled, not really understanding certain social cues that maybe could have helped them if they either kept their mouth shut or they were not as passive as they were. But for me, I think being doing these for a long time, I think that really helps me in this game, which I'm very thankful for.
Absolutely. So I guess going into the game, did you have like a certain set strategy or like how flexible did you feel? And also like how did your game evolve? Like did you expect it to evolve that way?
Yeah, I think coming in, I really just wanted to find not a group of people, because I feel like when you create groupings in these games, it never goes well. So, I didn't want to come and be like, I'm going to do this, then this, and this. I feel like adaptability, flexibility is the key to win these games. So, I think coming in, I wanted to just focus on my relationships mainly, find a couple of people I know I could trust 100% and just lock something in with those people. And I definitely do think I did that at the beginning, which allowed me to not be nominated for so long because I had so many deals running across the board. And, initially I was very close with Landry and Sage. We talked, literally instantly right after the voting for the first HOH. And, I was close with them probably for a couple weeks, but, then I realized like it's time to change it up and, start pivoting. And that's exactly what I did. And, I was able to bounce back on other connections that I made, which allowed me to flip so easily on them. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when did the decision to like flip on them kind of start? Like, what made you want to flip on them?
Mhm.
Because it seemed like you guys were kind of like locked, with each
Yeah.
other, and then all of a sudden it's just like out of nowhere. For me, it seemed like it was out of
Mhm.
nowhere. So what happened there?
Yeah, so I would say about the week 2 mark, because obviously there was the incident that was shown, I think, in episode 3, where Landry walked into a room where I said I was wanting to keep Davison. And truthfully, I feel like he was someone who I really did want to work with. So, telling him that I really wanted him to stay, that was just to give him reassurance. Obviously, my decision wasn't fully made up, but at that point, I realized like I don't know if this can be a good ally for me. And then during that eviction, both Landry and Sage were messaging me saying to evict him. And they were, a little nervous because, they didn't think that, I was 100% in with them. At least by that point, that's what my perception was. So, it was kind of hard though, because Sage was week 1 and week 3 HOH. So I couldn't really do much, even if I wanted to. But I think week 4 is really where, I started to realize that I could make steps to, secretly like be against them behind the scenes. And I think the first step was evicting Vince. I think he was probably their key player. He was going to be loyal to them until the end. And I realized if I get rid of him now, I can, work with Via secretly because, her and I felt like with her, she was very quiet all season, but, I felt like I had a good rapport with her up until that point. I was able to break her out of her shell a little bit. So, that was step 1 for me. And then obviously my HOH happened and, ultimately, Jake goes home. He was someone I didn't really talk to. But a lot of people probably are surprised, I didn't just nominate Sage and Landry. But at that point, I really wanted to get Jake out, who was clearly unpredictable, and people didn't know about my alliance with Brayden, so I felt like it was a good cop out, and there was no way he was gonna go home over Jake because I feel like he already had a good relationship with them as well. So that it just worked out perfectly. I think the dominoes just fell, and pretty much the whole game I was able to do things, build up to the level of eventually building Landry out. But yeah, that's
Absolutely, yeah.
I. Mhm.
I think I was gonna say I think the this during the split house week I think your head of household ring was the more interesting one obviously because I think
For
Via had
sure.
more of like a straightforward like all right the whole house inside wants Boyar out. However, your head of household reign had a lot of different layers to it. You kind of were playing like I feel like your relationship with every person on that outside house was so intricate and if something went wrong like let's say like Jake
Hmm.
won the power veto then like
Yeah.
things could have really shaken up there. I guess if Sage had not won the power veto, things could have actually shaken up. I think something other things could have happened there. Um,
Hmm.
I did kind of want to ask you about. I want to dive a little bit deeper into the split house because there was a lot. I feel like, and it hasn't aired yet, so I don't really know how the public is going to. Well, as of recording this, it hasn't aired yet. I'm curious to see
Hmm.
like how the public is gonna perceive the split house. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for you to kind of like explain yourself the entire that for that entire week. Like, what was your initial plan going in, and then like I guess touch up on your backup plans because I know you definitely did have backup plans. It had like
For sure.
one of the guys one veto, and then how would you have
Mhm.
like gone about that, and like what was the strategy behind that?
Yeah, like I said, I came into this game wanting to take every opportunity that I did have. So, I think being able to come up with an initial plan of putting Jake up along with Braden, it was a little risky because I did consider Braden probably one of my closest allies at that point. But people didn't know that. People, I think, assumes that I was close with Landry and Sage. And if I could have avoided getting either one of them out that specific week, I, was gonna do that because I knew people on the other side of the house, they did not fuck with Sage or Landry. And I knew having them in the game going into the final eight, I feel like that would have been really good for my game. But, obviously my initial plan, put up Braden. I mean, obviously he didn't want to go on the block, obviously, but I think in the end it still worked out because I still had his trust. And I think the best case scenario for anything is your nominee that stays, you're still in their good graces. And obviously him and I still continue to work together. So that didn't really change anything. And obviously with Jake, we just never talked. I felt like he was very unpredictable. I had heard some things. I feel like he's a very messy player. So it just made sense to get him out. And obviously he won the last week's power veto. So I think it was just a perfect setup to have him as a target because I felt like if he had survived that week, I really think it would have been harder to get him out because I feel like people were going to be so focused on Sage and Landry. So getting him out while I had the chance, definitely perfect. But obviously, if he had won the power veto or if Braden won the POV and took himself off, I was 100% ready to take that shot at Landry. I think in a lot of people's perceptions was Sage was the number one biggest target the whole season. So obviously, ideally, I wanted to wait a bit because I knew that, there would be a time where Sage would be able to, be a final nominee and get taken out. Obviously, that did not happen. I went home before Sage. But, on the other house, I had Happy, who I had been planting seeds about Sage for, a while now. And I knew that he could win comps and we could, eventually get Sage out. But, unfortunately, it didn't work out. But I do think my plan was executed perfectly because even though I wasn't able to get Landry out that week, I was able to get Landry out the following week. And I think that really benefited my game. So, my head of household, I definitely had a lot of like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then if this happens, that's gonna happen. And I think it all worked out in the end because, Power Vita got discarded, so it didn't really matter anyway.
Absolutely. And then I guess so. Yeah,
Hmm.
your week pretty much went. I think the best. It was the best scenario that happened for the split house. I think like it really positioned you very well.
For sure.
And I think it like you leaving in Sage and Landry kind of like leaves a shield in front of you. So I think that you kind of like played that. I think the best that you could. Got like
Hmm.
just only being able to see it from your perspective, of course. And not knowing what the best move to make is, and you just and I think you executed it great. Um,
Hmm.
I guess another question I have for you, just kind of like to switch topics just a little bit. From the episodes that we've seen released so far, like as of recording this, only the first four episodes are out. Um,
Hmm.
how would you say like the public is responding to, I guess like just the overall like strategy and like because obviously like we see like what people say about the show.
Hmm.
What is your take on like what people are kind of saying about how people are playing the game? Like, do you think that so far people are like correct about like their takes on like how the game is being played? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to hear how you feel about
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So I think what people see, it's quite literally like 3% of maybe that's a little too low, but you have to understand there's 22 hours of footage, and truly we only can fit like an hour into each episode. So I do think there is a lot that is unaired. And I think in addition to that, you have all these conversations going on at the same time during filming. So it's like you can't like possibly, I guess, include everything in each episode. So I think there was a lot of conversations obviously that happened that were not aired that probably were, important. But, there's so many, this season was crazy. I feel like people were just playing so hard right out of the gate. So it truly was difficult to, possibly include like everything that happened. But, I think the public's perception, it's been interesting to sort of like be like a viewer, like during, when the episodes are airing and seeing what people think. Cause I think a lot of people at the beginning, like, assumed that, oh, like Jake, Joe, and Happy. Those were the big three that were gonna, dominate the season. And I think the edit was set up perfectly for their demise because I feel like those three people had a lot of confessionals throughout the season. So I think even though Joe and Jake were early boots, I think it was kind of funny seeing the public sort of changing their opinions during those evictions. And in addition to that, I think a lot of people are assuming, oh, like Sage and Landry, those are the two like vocal players on, I guess, the quote unquote other side, which obviously, as we know now, there was never really a solid Dolls 2.0 as much as people thought it was going to, happen. So I think
Mhm.
that was another interesting part. I talked to Tara a little bit about this, her and I, talk in DMs a lot. So
Yeah.
we like to read comments and sort of like laugh at it because people are just like, oh, all these girls are just blindly loyal to Sage. But that couldn't have been further from the truth. Her and I specifically, had a lot of back and forth banter about, taking Sage out eventually. So, I think it is pretty interesting to see what the public thinks because obviously you can only control so much about, what you react, how you react to certain situations. But, I think it is interesting to see, what people have to say for sure.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad. Your perspective is interesting. I'm glad that like, we not often do we get to like hear what the house guests feel about when they watch the episodes back because like
Mhm.
it's different because like you've lived the experience and then you get to go back and like see other
Yeah,
perspectives and see. So no, I'm great that you're able to share that with us.
for sure.
As far as now jumping back into like the actual season, um, on the episode that you get evicted, I think it was Via's eviction week where Sage is trying to figure out just like who threw my name out, like when Landry went home, like what was going on. Like there was a big house meeting in the HOH room that I wasn't included in. Um, what were your thoughts on that whole meeting that Sage pulled? Like, do you think that it was necessary for them to pull that, or you think it was doing too much? Like, I'm curious from to see from your perspective on that.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting, honestly, because I think up until that point, so many people were targeting Sage, and all it took was, her or Happy to lose a competition for Sage to finally be taken out. But unfortunately, that never happened until, later on. But you have to understand, Sage was trying to do everything that they could to figure this out. And obviously, my initial reaction was to stay quiet because I was like, wow, like I don't want to say anything that is going to make Sage, question my loyalty because I was trying to play the card that, we've been together all season and I would never turn on you, even though I did turn on Landry. But, I sort of had my reasonings and I told Sage this. I wanted Sage to believe that I had my reasons for going after Landry because Landry obviously put dirt on my name, in the early weeks of the game. So, I think up until that point, I did a good job of controlling myself during that. And, it was funny because me, Brayden, Tara, I think immediately after that went into a room and we were just kind of laughing, like, oh, this is funny. Like
Right.
seeing like stage spiral over this is just hilarious. But yeah, I think it was definitely a pretty interesting um situation that we were put in. And, I think we all did a good job of, staying level headed and not like giving away anything during that moment for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm actually surprised. I'm more surprised that it didn't really like get exposed about like who really threw Sage's name out or Landry's because I feel like I mean, it was almost obvious. I feel like everybody unanimously kind of came together and was like, all right, we need to get, we need to get Sage out. Like Sage is a big
Mhm,
target. Like Sage has been like kind of one of the main people that was making moves in the pre-jury phase of the game. So I feel like that obviously it makes sense to like why Sage or Landry should be a target. And the fact that
for
it didn't
sure.
even like land on you, even get back to you in that sense is pretty incredible. Um, Now I wanna get your take on like, obviously like during your eviction, Sage made a big spectacle. Yet again, always making a spectacle. A big
Hmm.
spectacle as to like why you should be the one to go over I
Hmm.
guess it was Tara. It's like why do you think they made that move right then and there?
I think it was brilliant on their end because I think at that point, Sage realized that, I was standing in the way of Sage getting to the end. Because, I was at that point, Sage realized that I was one of the main people that was, hardcore targeting Sage. And, by the final five, it's like we're so close to the end. So it's like it's
Mhm.
sort of hard to like sort of hide how you're feeling. I don't necessarily think I could have done anything differently in that situation because, I don't think what people understand is during the double eviction, we had no time to talk in between. So obviously, I couldn't like possibly talk to anyone before the eviction. So I think Sage doing that was brilliant because I had, a final two with Happy, and Happy would have broken the tie in my favor. I was the last person that he was going to nominate. So unfortunately, though, Brayden did not know of my relationship with Happy. He figured, oh, like Maddie is done. I better just evict her because she's going
Right.
either way. So he had told me after filming that, like, if he had known that Happy would have broken the tie in my favor, he would have kept me,
Oh
which is
wow.
unfortunate because I was so close in the HOH. So to get so close to staying and like going home at the final five, it was devastating. But I think during that house meeting, obviously Sage played it pretty well, and I felt like there wasn't really much I could have done to react. Obviously I do think I made good points like during that, like I guess it was a quote unquote fight, I guess. I do think I controlled myself well, and I feel like I was able to get points across. But unfortunately, I feel like at that point, it was just all happening so fast. So I couldn't really do much.
I thought it was really funny when Sage, like you and Sage were kind of going back and forth, and then Sage starts to bring up a point, and Sage is like, "You even told me in the HOH room," and then you immediately were like, "That's a lie, that's a lie," and Sage is like, "I haven't even said it yet. I haven't even
Oh
said
my
it yet. What
God.
are you talking
Yeah.
about?" Um, I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
that was just like it was just so funny because like I don't know, we're
Yeah.
like probably at that point like 18 hours into the recording
Yeah.
session. Like I don't think people really realize how much that does to your mind like when you're
Yeah.
18 hours in, and we kind of want it to be like that, right? Because it's like
For sure.
we don't want you to be playing as sharp, like you know what I mean. I think for me, I like the fact that we do it all in one day because you get moments like that where it's like I
Yeah.
don't know, I feel like if you were not sleep deprived, I feel like you would have been able to like
Yeah.
maybe catch yourself before doing that. I don't know, I just thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. And
um
I think like bouncing off of that, I feel like I had that mentality by, the final six. I really told myself like I could win this game. And, it hadn't hit me at that point because I felt like I was set up pretty well
mhm.
to make it to the end. And, it's unfortunate that I got out because, I felt like had I stayed, I, clearly had Happy and Sage, in front of me. I feel like if Tara was the sole person voting, I obviously had a final two with her as well. So I feel like I could have been in the position to, make it to the end. So it's unfortunate that it didn't happen. But, I think getting evicted at the 18th hour, that was obviously devastating in itself because, I feel like when you have this mentality like 10 minutes before, like obviously before the POV when Happy was HOH, I was like, wow, I could really win this right now. I had all my notes lined up. I had been, typing out notes in a Google Sheet the whole season. So, I feel like I was ready to, win any competition that involved, trivia. So, to get out like that, it was devastating, but, would not change a thing at all.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I do agree. I
Mhm.
think that you definitely had the game on lock had you stayed. I mean, like it would have been totally interesting. I think so much more interesting had
Mhm.
you made it to that final four. But sadly,
For
that
sure.
didn't happen. But I don't know. I think the viewers are gonna be pretty devastated when they when they see both you and
Yeah.
Via go back to back. It's gonna be like
Oh my God.
9/11 2.0. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
Exactly.
Maybe not that far, but
No, I think that's a good
yeah.
that's a good comparison.
Right. Um, Now I guess like I want to just like kind of highlight the fact that you and Happy made an alliance early on in the game. You also made kind of
Mhm.
a closer bond, what I would say a closer bond with Brayden sort of near the split house week. Maybe I think during Brayden's HOH. Um,
Mhm.
you were pretty stacked like on a lot of different sides. You had final twos with like almost everybody in the house.
Mhm.
What's your take on that? And like who I guess like were you actually as close with Happy as he made it seem? Like I'm curious as to what how you felt about that.
Yeah, I think for me, my main goal with him was I think by the time that I established a very strong connection with him, I had already known how he was in competitions because, a lot of us, did not have as much experience as him. So knowing that he had so much experience, I felt like I would be doing myself a disservice if I did not capitalize off of that. So I wanted him to feel so safe with me because I know he was probably going to be in the house for a long time because obviously he just kept winning competition after competition. And, knowing that he trusted me the most, I feel like I was able to utilize that to stay safe for so long. And, I think obviously from my perspective, my main goal was to get to the end with people I knew that I could potentially have an easier time beating, not only in a jury vote, but the competitions as well. So, I think being so like creating such a solid group with, Mac, Tara, and Brayden, I think that the four of us, those were the people that I wanted to go to the end with. And obviously we had Via as well, who, I definitely did trust at that point, but no one else did, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
But, I felt like I was sort of forced to just continue to go backward, like, what's the word? What's the phrase? Like, lay back on my, relationship with Happy because he just kept winning. So I was like, obviously, like, I'm gonna like say whatever I can to make him feel good. Had I gotten the chance to take him out, like by final five, final six, like final four, I would have probably voted him out because at that point, I knew if I wanted a chance to win anything, secure my safety, he needed to go. Because if it was a situation at the final four where he won HOH, but someone else won POV, they could have easily evicted me. So by final four, like it's anyone's game. And obviously we saw at final five, even though he was HOH, the veto was used and I was automatically the replacement nominee. There was nothing he could do to control
Yeah.
that. So, I knew that I needed him gone, unfortunately. As unfortunate as it was, because I do love Happy so much, but it was just simple logic. But, I do think I had a lot of established relationships. And, depending on who won HOH, that's who I, fell back on. And, I think that strategy really did help me out in the end, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Maddie, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. Do you have anything else that you want to like
Yeah.
add? Do you think that we kind of like summarized everything? Is there anything else that like you feel like we need to talk about before we go?
Yeah, I think, this was such an amazing experience. I'm so thankful to have been given the opportunity to play something like this. I've never done anything like this. So, I think this experience was just beyond phenomenal. And, you put so much effort into, each episode, and it's sort of nice to see it all come together because, during the season, you're not really thinking, oh, like episodes like airing. Like
Right.
you're sort of just in the moment and are just like, oh, let me just live this experience how it is. But such an amazing experience. I'm so thankful. And thank you for having me, of course.
Absolutely. Maddie, it was great having you on the season. Like a lot of great moments came from you being on the show. So thank you for that.
For sure.
If you were given the chance to play again, like would you come back and do it all over again?
Oh, 100%. I had such a great time and I really do think if I was given the chance, I think having already played, I think I would excel even more. So many years have gone by. I'm older
Absolutely,
now. I
yeah.
feel like I have even like a sharper mind than I did before. So, it would be amazing to, come back again for sure.
Awesome. All right, Maddie. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Look forward to seeing everything that you do in the future. And yeah,
Perfect.
We'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.